What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Loot Chest on Tasty Loot Gaming. In case you don't know, Loot Chest is the show where we talk about a random topic in gaming. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And on this episode of Loot Chest, we're going to be talking about the hardest games that we've played. Now, of course, this is subjective, and you might think the games that we're talking about aren't that hard, and vice versa. Obviously, games like Dark Souls is in there, blah, 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 but I think we might have some more interesting ones that are not as cliche. So let's jump into it. Let's start with you, Chevy.
My first one is actually going to be pretty cliche, but it is for a reason. But that is Battletoads for the NES.
Fuck. Okay, that's also mine.
Yeah, yeah. No, that game is rough. It's got essentially friendly fire.
Oh no, fucking me and Josh actually played it like a year or two ago together, and on the first level, I died in about 2 minutes because Josh came up to me and started fucking just cracking me in the head with a pipe and killed me.
You know,
and I was like, dude, fucking stop. He's like, well, you got in the way.
Well, yeah, you have all that on top of the enemies, and then you also have the hover bike part.
I will say, okay, so this is also my pick, and the reason is the third level, the hover bike part, is fucking notoriously hard.
Yeah.
You've played it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's ridiculously fucking hard. It's the same every time, right? You have to memorize it.
Yeah.
It's still so fucking hard.
Yep.
But anyway.
No, I mean that's pretty much the reason for it, though. It's like the game does no favors to you at all the whole time you're playing it. So
Well, like we were talking earlier, and I was saying that games back then, there was no set standard of like what is challenging. So like people would just like make a game, go, this is pretty hard, but fuck it, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And that game was definitely an example of that. I completely agree. It's one of my picks. Super fucking hard. And even to this day, replaying it, it's still hard to me. So that's why I made my list as well. Any thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I mean, I played that with friends a lot as a kid and just
Yeah.
couldn't get anywhere in it.
Yeah. A lot of people can't get past that third level. So, I mean, like, it's fucking rough. So, yeah, I'm going to skip me for this and for this one because I have the same pick.
Okay.
And we'll move over to you.
All right. My first pick is a game called Chrysalis. It's an old NES game. It's not very well known.
I think I do know this one.
I don't know this one.
The basis is you're like a time traveler. You're frozen in like this time pod. You come out of stasis, and it's like a very old. It's like a cross between Final Fantasy and Legends of Zelda. You're a little kid with a sword. You go through town to town, kill enemies along the way. The problem is it doesn't really tell you where you're supposed to be going.
I did not play this.
Oh.
And like there's sections of the game where you have to have specific items to get through them. Like there's this one where it's a forest entirely composed of poison. If you go in there, your health goes done. And if you didn't know where to look exactly for this one item that prevents you from being poisoned in there, you're dead, and you can't advance the story. Or like there's the wind sword is the base sword you get, and the next one is the fire sword, and each sword, you charge it up and it does different attacks. But if you didn't know how to chop the certain grass in a certain section of this little area of the map, you don't get the fire sword.
And again, this is a prime example of, nowadays we got tutorials that teach you how to play the game, and we got things that are constantly telling you where to go and stuff like that. So, like, going back to a game like that where you just gotta figure the fuck out, maybe get into the actual case and read the booklet or something. And, walkthroughs existed for a reason, or the what are they called? The fucking books?
Game guides.
Game guide, yeah. Those existed for a reason because the fucking people who made the game didn't tell me where the hell to go.
Well, back then too, they were huge on the 900 numbers too, to call for tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember calling those. That was so weird. I've told people that who were younger than me, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, dude, I remember calling fucking the Nintendo hotline, looking up, trying to find fucking cheat codes for fucking Chameleon Twist. I called a live operator because they didn't have any. It wasn't listed. And they're like, what game you looking for? I'm like, Chameleon Twist. They're like, that's not out in the United States yet. I'm like, I'm playing it. I think it is. God, those are the days. I hate using the phone. But, no, that sounds frustrating. And almost, for some reason, and I don't think it's the same, what was that fucking game back in the day for the Super Nintendo? There's like an overview, and you had to like make a town and stuff, but then you jumped in as a side 2D perspective game where you... I keep wanting to say like Arc Lord or Overlord, but those are different games. It's something like that. ActRaiser.
Okay.
For some reason, that reminds me of ActRaiser, but I don't think it's the same. Have you ever played ActRaiser? God, ActRaiser was fucking awesome. But yeah, no, that sounds really hard. Anything on that?
No, it just sounds frustrating to me.
And you never played that one? Because I don't even know what the hell that game is. What was it on?
NES.
NES?
Yeah. It was the first NES game that I got to pick out as a kid. That's why I remember it so vividly.
Yeah. And the one, Battletoads you picked, you said was for NES?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to say Sega Genesis because that's what I played it on. But yeah, all old games. My second pick, because we're flying through this, Back to the Future 3, which was for Sega Genesis.
I remember this.
This was also one of the earlier games I got as a kid, and I believe I picked that out.
Yeah, I remember.
It's the first level's so fucking hard. It's the first level, and you're on a horse. And I know the music too is the dun 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 dun, and fucking you're on a fucking horse, and the whole time it's 2D perspective, and there's like you're chasing after a wagon, but out of that wagon like boxes are flying out of the way, and if your horse hits the box, you crash and it's game over. There's eagles that fly down and come at you, so you got to duck out of the way.
Outside of the horse.
And then Ninja Gaiden shit.
And then you'll catch up to other dudes on horses, and they'll start shooting at you. And if they hit you once, you're just dead, and you have to restart the whole fucking thing.
Yep.
And you got to duck out of the way. And like, there's like, what are those things on the back of a fucking boot?
A spur?
Yeah, those will fly fucking out of nowhere and hit you. And like, there's all this shit just flying at you. And then there's fucking cracks in the ground because for some reason a major earthquake happened, and there's fucking craters everywhere. And you have to jump over those, jump over boxes. There's fucking boxes flying over your head. Fucking there's tumbleweeds flying at you. And if you get hit by any of these, you have to start from the beginning again. And it's so fucking frustrating. It's still so fucking frustrating. And it's funny because that level's so fucking hard, but then the next level is like this fucking shooting gallery where it's like one of those old D-pad.
Oh, yeah,
move the thing around,
I
shoot the
remember that.
fucking... It's like these dudes keep popping up and you gotta shoot at them.
Like you should have a light gun, but you don't have one.
Yeah, exactly. Like the old Terminator game. And that shit, it was slightly difficult, but like fairly difficult. And then fucking one of them is just like you're running across a train, like fighting dudes, but like, and there's 4 levels in the whole fucking game.
That's it?
Back when you can get away with fucking 4 levels in the game.
Yeah.
You can beat that game in an hour if you can get past the first fucking level. But the first fucking level is so hard that it lives in infamy in my brain as one of the hardest games I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
And you remember this game?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, very
Well,
much
I
so.
still own it. Fucking... This fucking game right here. Fuck this game. It's so fucking hard. I still own it, and I still hate it.
I bet you that's worth a lot of money.
Dude, I got a bunch of Sega Genesis games. Anyone want to buy this? Fucking buy it from me. I don't want it anymore. I've been haunted all my life by this game, and I still have it since I was a child. Fuck this game. Alright. So it's you, me... Which is that game?
I'm going to go with a newer game, since we have a trend of older games. I'm going to go with Faster Than Light, or FTL.
Oh, shit, yeah. Game is fucking hard.
I've only gotten to the last level twice, and I just got completely dominated by the boss both times. The game is completely random, so you start, the map's never the same, the places you go are always different, and you have to maintain structural integrity of your ship, maintain all systems with crew members, and then when you fight people, you actually have to like aim at certain parts of ships while having your defenses up and stuff like that, and it's just so much micromanaging. And if you don't have the right tool for the job at the time, that's it, you lose, game over, and you gotta start over again. The game does offer really cool features though, like you get to unlock new ships and races, and you can like hire crew members, but once again, completely random.
It's a really fun game, but it is a game that I stopped playing solely based off of it was just really fucking difficult.
It's very hard, yeah.
And not that I was quitting, I play a lot of games, so it's easy for me to migrate over to another game. But that game is super fucking difficult. I completely forgot about that game. Did you ever play that?
Mm-mm.
It's fun, but
It's a very fun game.
It's punishing for sure.
Yeah.
You cannot fuck around in that game. I mean, there's guides on how to get to the last boss and shit. Like the best way to try, because it's all procedurally generated, right? Like
I don't know if it's procedural or random.
it's random, yeah. But it's not always the same. Because I remember playing it over and over, and it'd always be different. So you can't like
It's not like Star Fox.
get
where
a
you take the
system
path
down.
and-
Yeah. No, that game is fucking rough.
yeah. No, the last boss is like this huge ship with 1,000,000 rooms and like every system like fully functional and stuff. I mean, it's a huge headache. You like have to like defend from multiple guns and try to attack it at the same time. It's ridiculous, and they're boarding your ship, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I already said my first one originally, so I'm gonna do an honorable mention real quick. Demon Souls. Dark Souls is obviously hard. Dark Souls 2 is hard, but Demon Souls, I found really difficult, especially at the time I played it, because it was not something I was expecting.
Right.
I think you can understand. You also played Demon Souls. I don't know if you played Demon Souls a little bit. Game is really fucking difficult. The thing that I'm hesitant on saying it's one of the hardest games I've ever played, though, is like all the Souls games, it's all about kind of understanding the boss and then progressing. So it's more challenging than like hard. But definitely something worth mentioning, because I think, whether it's Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, fucking Bloodborne, I think most people can identify with these games being difficult.
One he created, like you've already mentioned all these games now. I mean, there's obviously, it's hard, but rewarding. So when you beat something, you feel accomplished in these games. I mean, I played quite a bit of Demon Souls, and not as much as I'm sure as many people have, but for me, I don't play these kind of games usually.
You got further than I did.
And I remember beating Flame Lurker and just like putting the controller down and be like,
I remember you fighting that dude for a long time.
Weeks.
And I watched you fight him like 3 times and lose, and then finally beat him, and I was like fucking pumped for you.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Stupid. The biggest problem with Demon Souls, though, so Dark Souls 2 are also hard, but their systems work better than Demon Souls. Demon Souls is so in the infancy of that franchise that it's challenging, but it's also challenging because the game just did not flow as well as the other two games. And with Bloodborne, it flows really well, so they just amped up everything.
So the camera's an asshole in that game.
The camera's an asshole. Although I beat the first 4 bosses, first tries in Bloodborne, so it's not as hard as the other games. Yeah, Cody was pissed about that when I told him about that.
Yeah, Cody can't play Warframe, though, so what's he got to say about it?
That's the hardest game he's ever played.
Cody.
Mods, how do they work?
Hi, Cody. But yeah, and I'm sure Cody will fucking be like, I fucking beat Dark Souls 2 multiple times, and you did. Awesome.
Yep.
Good job. I have not beaten Dark Souls 2, even though Dark Souls 2 is so fucking good. But yeah, honorable mention. So, what's your second pick?
It's probably a game that everybody's played and probably beaten. The most I remember playing is from childhood, though, is Simon's Quest.
Simon's Quest, yeah.
From the NES. And
I've never beaten that game.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, I'm sure some people are like, oh, it's easy. But, I find it difficult because I just literally just scroll endlessly left or right, and I just get lost. Like, the fuck am I supposed to go?
Right.
Oh, fuck, my whip doesn't work anymore. Gotta run now.
Yeah.
And I know a few little things here and there, like, oh, there's a whip hidden inside the first town that you can get. But, like, other than that, like, I don't know where the fuck to go. Find Dracula. That's your quest. That's your story. Go.
Most Castlevania games are.
I beat the one you play as Alucard. No problem.
Symphony of the Night?
Yeah. Love that game.
Okay.
Everybody loves
It's
that
the
game.
best, it's the best one. Like,
But Simon's Quest, I love playing it, but I'm just terrible at it. It's
yeah,
so hard.
those games I always really appreciate, and I love them to death. But I'm not good at them. But Symphony of the Night, yeah, that for some reason that one just clicked with me. Like I feel like it clicked with everybody. I think they're just on top of their shit.
I think it has more of an RPG feel to it, though, because
Yeah.
the different armors and weapons you can equip
There's so
throughout
much
it.
equipment. in the
Yeah.
game.
Plus less whips. I
Yeah.
hate the whips. They suck. And on fucking that note, what the fuck? Oh shit! I had a game that I was gonna say. Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
That is an incredibly hard game.
So fucking hard. Watch the episode. We did an episode, annotation above. We revisited it for Game Vault, which we need to fucking do more Game Vaults. But that game's so fucking hard because when you jump, you commit. Like, you can't control it. So
Right.
you're just fucking in the air and you get hit by dogs jumping at you and shit.
I remember them doing the spiritual successor even on the PlayStation 2, and that game was hard.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember when I was a kid in like fucking elementary school. I think in like first grade or something like that. Fucking, I had to do like I had to wait to get picked up. So like they had like a fucking Nintendo to play while that was going on, and I would play that game. I don't remember, like as a kid, I got fucking pretty far in it because that's what we did. We just fucking played that and got into it. But I played it now. I can't get past the first level. It's embarrassing. And I feel like I'm a pretty good gamer. I'm definitely a gamer. I play everything, and I just could not fucking. Josh can handle either. That game's fucking gnarly.
Well, the restrictions of old games compared to now, I mean, games flow so much better now.
When you look at platformers like Super Meat Boy, which I think is one of the best controlled platformers ever made, it's just you're so in control of that game that if you fuck up and die, it is your fault, and you can only be pissed at yourself. But like that game, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Goblins, whichever one it is,
Ghouls and Goblins.
Fucking those games are a mix between your skill and how fucked the game wants to be.
Yep.
Just random shit dropping out of the air, fucking things coming out of the ground
Surprise.
changing constantly, fucking dogs jumping and hitting me while I'm jumping. God, that game pisses me off thinking about it. Any honorable mentions you guys want to
Yes.
throw out there?
NES again, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Which one?
The
The
first
original one? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That game was... I don't even think I ever progressed in that game. I always, like... Especially, like, getting in, like, sewer systems and stuff like that. And not being able to, like, fight at angles. I don't remember being able to, at least, like, you'd get stuck on a ladder and someone would whack you and you'd fall and you'd get hurt again. And that game was just super hard.
Yeah. I remember liking that game, but...
It was really fun.
It's
But
fun.
I remember it being pretty hard.
The underwater level is famously
Oh, yeah.
hard because if you don't pick the exact right turtle, I think with Michelangelo, you can't pass the level. It's impossible to pass.
Fucked up.
Well, that's just bad game design at that
Yeah.
point. But no, that game was pretty rough. I was also going to mention Super Meat Boy as an honorable mention.
Super Meat Boy is hard, but it's so fairly hard.
No, absolutely. It's the same vein that like Dark Souls is, though, because
Yeah.
Dark Souls is hard, but it's fair hard.
Like it's pure evolution of hard games because it's hard, but it's so crafted to be hard in a controlled state, which sounds fluffy, but it is. Like I it's just like playing Trials and stuff at the end being so fucking hard. I spent an hour one time trying to get through one, and I did beat it, but it's like it's all these minute fucking like. Movements and muscle memory and just like Super Meat Boy. After a while in Super Meat Boy, you're not even looking at the screen anymore. You're just feeling your fingers and how they're moving, and then you adjust the way they move for a second until you fucking beat it.
yeah.
It's really fucking weird. It's cool though, but yeah, definitely hard, but fair. Any honorable mentions?
One, it's not super hard, but it's still relatively hard, is Super Mario on the NES. I mean, it's basic mechanics of a game, but it's more of an endurance test. I mean, you've got to be able to get through everything all in the set amount of lives that you collect for the level. And I mean, to this day, I haven't beaten the original.
Really?
Not once. Super Mario 3, no problem.
I love
No
Super
problem.
Mario 3.
But the original Super Mario,
Did I ever beat that one? I feel like I have.
I've beaten the original in 3. 2 gives a shit. And oh god, I went for Super Nintendo.
Super Mario World.
all
Super Mario World.
That one
Yeah,
was
yeah.
easy.
I love that game so much, though. It's one of the best platformers ever made.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Mario is another example of a really like finely tuned machine, though.
Very, and it set the standard way early.
Mhm.
It's one of the best platformers early,
You can look now at Super Mario Maker, for example, or Mario Maker,
which is fucking crazy.
and you see some of the levels people make. And the one thing I appreciate that they did with that game, though I hear the searching for level system is completely...
Well, Nintendo Networks isn't.
Broken.
That's not crazy to think.
But the person who makes the level has to have beaten it to publish it.
Yes.
That's good.
And some of the levels people come out with, like, you can tell they know every little nuance of a Mario game.
I saw a fucking GIF today on Reddit of this dude who
All
was
the
just
blue
like,
shells?
like holding blue shells, bouncing off, timing and shit. I'm like,
Oh, I know beers.
he's not playing as as someone who's just doing this. Like he's done this and he knows where everything's going all the time.
Just Google item abuse for Super Mario. There's people who, before Mario Maker came out, they were making Super Mario World levels that you had to be able to juggle 3 items at once. So the key, a shell, the key, the shell, a shell, and be able to bounce off them, spin off that while throwing all of them up at the same time and getting them across a level that has no ground.
I saw something similar to that in Mario Maker where someone had to bring from the beginning of the level until the end a POW block the whole time while using shells and then like moving platforms and stuff and just juggling the whole time. I mean, that is just complete control at that point.
I beat those games, I'm done with them. Like I'll replay them and have fun, but I'm not that guy sitting there fucking finding how much more difficult I can make this fucking game. But I was gonna say, even the levels that are like you gotta keep moving because the thing's chasing you, and then like there's all these areas to fall and shit. Yeah, those levels are always super challenging. But to the Mario game's credit, I'm not a huge Mario fan anymore, but I love the older ones. They were just the best at fucking platforming. Yeah. They're solid. They played really well, challenging but fair. Just kind of set the standard. So definitely agree. Any other honorable mentions? Do you have anything else? Make it quick.
I don't think so. I mean, I if I sat here long enough, I could. But
yeah,
I think we covered a lot of the.
Yeah. What do you guys think? What's the hardest game you've ever played, or many hardest games you've ever played? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to know. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of Loot Chest on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Tasty Loot Gaming. Make sure to check us out on Twitch, Sleep Division. Check out our other episodes. We have a lot of them. If you're curious about Firewatch, check out our hour-and-a-half episode on that. It's a full playthrough, so if you want to see gameplay all the way from beginning to end of the first 2 chapters, check that out. But, thank you for watching. And until Tuesday, we'll see you guys later. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Until then, take it easy, guys.